As a result, bribery and scandals were brought to light. As things got more and more complicated, they eventually halted construction. If I wanted to know, now was my only chance to ask. It was certainly a bizarre incident that boys my age would be curious about. I felt a little ashamed from the fact that I was petty enough to have my curiosity piqued by Rena and Neon's refusal to talk about the event. But I figured I might as well ask since I had the chance, just so I would stop thinking about it so much. So, there was this dismemberment, right? There was. I happened to be here in town at that time, so I remember it well. To make his answer was nonchalant in contrast with my hesitantly forced out question. It was about this time 4 years ago. It was Dave the Watanabe, if I recall correctly. Debate on whether to continue construction on the dam was in disarray. Scandal after scandal rocked the project near the end. The incident that was the final nail in the coffin for the dam project. The fight at the dam construction site ended in the victim being murdered. Fearing prosecution, 6 assailants divided the remains into 6 pieces and each hid one. 5 of the 6 criminals turned themselves in out of guilt, but one was still on the run. The right arm he hid had yet to be found. The major details aligned up with what was in the tabloid I read earlier. It certainly was a tragic event, but it wasn't so terrible that Rena and Neon needed to hide it from me. I guess they didn't want someone who just moved here to have a negative impression on town. I felt grateful for having friends who worried so much about me, as well as shame for still being so interested in it. It was near the end of all the trouble with the dam, you see. So everyone was saying that it was Oashiro's silence. Oashiro's curse. Oashiro's curse, huh? Higurashi was the name of the god in the shrine that held the festival today, if I recall correctly. I see. Their guardian deity rained divine punishment down on the evil dam construction for trying to flood town. Apparently the younger ones didn't think so. But it seemed the elder in the village never doubted that it was Higurashi's curse. The woman with Tameke said with a mischievous chuckle. Tameke began laughing with her. It was so infectious I ended up laughing as well. But I wonder about now. There are quite a few, I think, amongst the youth too. Few? What? People who believe in Higurashi's curse. The woman's lips were still curled into a smile, but her expression turned stern. Then after that, it continued every year, always around this time. Continued? What continued? Tameke paused for a second, as if to build us in suspense. Then he whispered to me, as if someone might be listening, have been listening. Every year, on the day of the Watanabe, someone dies. The year following this murder, on the day of the Watanabe, a man from town who had supported the dam fell off a cliff overlooking some rapids and died while he was on vacation. Not saying whose parent that was, because of course I know a little bit of this, but fortunately for his wife, the body was never recovered. But wait a minute. Okay, that's definitely a change, as both of them sort of fell off in the rapids. So he supported dam construction even though he lived in town. At the time, there were whispers amongst the elders saying it was Higurashi's curse. The woman chuckled mischievously again. Then the next year, the night of the Watanabe, the shrine's Shinto priest died suddenly from an unknown illness. His wife drowned herself in the bog at night. Again, that's related to someone else that we know. The shrine's Shinto priest. You mean he was from the shrine here? The woman nodded. There was rumor amongst the villagers that they weren't able to quarrel Higurashi's anger. Then the year after that, again on the night of the Watanabe, they discovered the battered body of a local housewife. A housewife? Up until now, all these mysterious deaths were people involved with the dam or had connections with Higurashi. With that in mind, could the housewife have been involved in some way too? Exactly. The woman stated slyly. No, it was more menacing. One of the victim's relatives, you see, was connected to the younger brother of the dam supporter who fell to his death 2 years before. It's the aunt of someone, but I'm not going to say who. The younger brother is still alive, it seems, but it did bother him quite a bit, so he moved to the neighboring town. For a while, I stood there with my mouth agape. The battle over the dam construction with the Higurashi future at stake. Town's future at stake. And the murder at the center of it all. That was all I knew, and that's all I wanted to ask about. But that wasn't all there was to the story. Homicide, body disposal, accidental deaths, terminal illnesses, suicide, fatal beatings. I was a pretty level-headed person. I don't really want to believe in curses. But the freakish deaths happened every year on the day of the Higurashi, and all of them were related to the dam construction. It was easy to dismiss each of them as coincidences by themselves. But when you put them all together, dismissing all of them as coincidences would then defy logic. I don't believe in curses, but every single year on the day of the Higurashi, somebody or something makes it happen without fail. The woman choked again as if she picked up on what I was thinking. So she was saying, maybe there was, maybe we framed them. Stuff like that. I felt embarrassed at being read so easily. I pressed to make a to continue. A bit of impatience and irritation in my tone. Then, so someone died next year, right? Who was it that time? I wonder, who do you think, Keiichi? The hell? The way he said it didn't agree with me. The sarcastic tone ticked me off. Don't avoid the question, I'm serious here. Hey, calm down, Keiichi. I realized when she tried to calm me down that I had been panicking. We weren't trying to avoid a question, Keiichi. It's just when you say the next year, that's today. That's today. When she hesitated to say it to make a finish for her. I broke into a cold sweat. I really didn't like the direction this was heading. Oh no, nobody wants to speak of it, but they all think it's going to happen. Again, tonight. The festival was so cheerful though. Well, the victim last year, the housewife, she was a non-believer. Turns out she didn't even attend the Higurashi festival. There was a rumor going around that if you didn't participate in the festival, you would incur Hiroshi's wrath. Didn't you hear anything about this, Keiichi? I never even heard a whisper of that rumor. Then the reason everyone was at the festival was they were afraid of the curse? I figured that must have been the reason. There were a lot more people at the Higurashi than usual. I guess everyone was just afraid after all. Of Hiroshi's curse. Ugh, keep screwing up their name. I couldn't utter a single word. That's why I put In this modern age, where we made progress in all scientific fields, shedding light on the unknown and misunderstood, where black and white televisions have been eradicated and we sent men to the moon. Even with all of our accomplishments, this can exist in modern society. Tons of invitations were sent out to neighboring towns, youth groups, to help pad the numbers. But after that string of events, few decided to join. The municipal committee members were complaining about how hard it was to gather participants. Also, the police are treating each case as isolated. They don't believe they're connected. Well, no, there's nothing really connecting them. They're trying to keep it quiet. So it's all plainclothes officers. Just normal everyday officers. It is finally beginning to dawn on me why our enemy were reluctant to talk. As if nothing happened during this Higurashi, everything would have been over with, and I would be none the wiser. If nothing happened, all would be well. In that case, it would all end up being just crazy talk. I should have just pretended like I knew nothing from the beginning. Then they wouldn't have had to act like nothing happened. and we would have all gone back to life as usual. Maybe it's just too much for him after all. The woman ran her fingers through her hair as she sighed. No, it wasn't. Not at all. I had tried to act strong, but that just served as emphasis on how much information had unsettled me. After seeing how I looked, to make it appear to regret saying anything. Laying outside, he then spoke, forcing an awkward, upbeat demeanor. Keiichi, surely you don't believe in such things as curses. Well, no. If the causes of all the crimes were unknown, with the perpetrators and the methods all mysterious, then I would think it's the work of a curse. But that's not how things are in reality. The police are investigating the evidence and suspects to uncover the truth. Damn it, my throat's getting dry now. Hearing them say police made me feel a lot better. It was perfect for repelling the word curse. The first one, the dismemberment, for example. I told you, didn't I? All but one of the perpetrators were arrested. So only a matter of time for the last one. The motive turned out to have been an argument they had while intoxicated. That's no curse, don't you agree? That was true. If it didn't happen on the day of Higurashi, then I wouldn't think it was related to the curse at all. The accident of the death of the man who supported them is the same. He was in a position that made others hate him. The police made a point of investigating from that angle. They concluded it was an accident, not foul play. But they both happened on the day of the festival, right? Just think about it, Keiichi. Do you think people with a lot of enemies here in town could participate easily in a local festival? It would be especially hard for them to be around during the Higurashi. So they probably left town intentionally around this time of year to travel, don't you think? It wasn't a very clear explanation, but I sort of understood what Tameki was getting at. So I pressed on earnestly, asking more questions so I could convince myself. Then Tameki, what about the priest who died after that? The one with the unknown illness. That also happened on the day of the festival. It's even easier to explain what happened to the Shinto police. The Higurashi is a really big event that happens once every year. It is probably from all the built-up stress. Or it may have been because of a pre-existing condition. But it was an unknown illness. It's hard to believe something with an unknown cause could exist with all our advances in medicine. It's just an exaggeration. Rumors making rumors. Anyone would get worked up over having incidents happen 2 years in a row. The sudden death is quite unnatural though. Of course, the police ordered the Ops houses because of the strange way he died. But there wasn't enough for them to open a full investigation unit. Turns out it was just a sudden death due to illness. The priest's wife committed suicide, correct? What about that? I believe I already explained that. Everyone was shaken up by the incidents happening for a third year. Those who are of strong faith were quick to believe it was the work of the curse. Of course, that included the priest's wife. Apparently, they found a suicide note that said something like, "My death will quell Owashira's anger." Well then, how about the next incident with the housewife? That happened on the day of the Higurashi too. The perpetrator had already been caught and the case had been closed. Turns out it was just some nut job trying to continue the legacy of the town's curse. Then how about the next... Oh yeah, this year is the next year. Tameki gave a hearty laugh. Nothing will happen, not this year. There was never a curse to begin with. It's just that a group of people believe it was the explanation for a string of coincidences. My internal computer finally got itself back on track. I felt a bit embarrassed on how childish life become after losing control and panicking. I can see very clearly now that Keiichi really does love town. Even if Owashira's curse actually did exist, Keiichi couldn't bring herself to believe that such a thing exists. I felt very relieved. I should probably just forget everything I heard tonight. I'll greet Rena and Mion tomorrow with the same smile as always. They'd probably also like tonight to end without us, so they can continue on tomorrow without having worried me. Perhaps seeing my change in attitude, the woman who had been listening and stretched as she got up from the rock she was sitting on. Well then, Oh shit. Sorry for doing it. I should be getting back. Goodness, I think I may have gone on a bit too long. There were so few people compared to the crowd from before. I could only make out a few groups of families enjoying the cool evening air. I looked at my watch. It seemed we talked for the better part of an hour. Didn't you come along with your friends, Keiichi? Not going to look for them? Oh, yeah. They might all be looking for me. You're quite the scoundrel, making the girls look for you. See you, Keiichi. Have a nice night. You too, Jiro-san. Jiro, goddammit. I'll see you a bit later. To make it seem to be quite the scoundrel himself, so his name is Jiro. They're dusting off her backside. She disappeared into the crowd of people still busy cleaning up the shrine's ground. Anyway, I'll end this here. If you all did enjoy these two episodes, this one and, of course, episode 15, please do leave a like on them, or comment. And please don't yell at me for screwing up names, please. Because I know I'm going to screw up words. But anyway, I do hope y'all enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like or a comment below. This is PC Death Gamer. Keep playing on. See you guys.